Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Joshua Tharby here. I hope you're all well. This video is going to be a little bit different this week. Essentially, on this channel we usually do a lot of tax, business, accounting, finance related content, very informative and to the point. Whereas this week's episode, this Friday, it's actually the day after my 27th birthday, so it's more of a reflective business episode. There's no tax savings to be had in this episode, but still tons of value, so make sure you continue watching to the end. Before we kick things off, please make sure you do hit that big like button and also subscribe with notifications turned on so you get notified as soon as we post more tax saving videos. So let's get stuck in. Essentially, I've got a couple of points here, things that I wanted to run through during this episode, things that I've picked up. So not many people know my backstory essentially. As in JSM Partners, Chartered Tax Advisors, award-winning. We work with many hundreds of clients across the world. By all means, we're a very successful accountancy practice. But what most people don't know is I founded the business just 3 years ago or so after leaving full-time employment. So at the time, kind of friends, family members, things like that, they were saying that it was very risky to do and not to do it, dealing with basically being quite young as well when starting your own accountancy business. It's a very, very risky thing to do. So this for me has become a lesson, and it's a principle really. A lot of people say just effing do it, and this is definitely one tip that I'd give to people. And when I'm speaking to clients, when I'm speaking to other business owners about making the move, going into a new venture or service, doing something new, that people often they get stuck in analysis paralysis. They look at the numbers, they don't take any action. Whereas that's something that I would say I've done relatively well over the past couple of years. When I do something, I just usually make a snap decision, go ahead and do it. So that's definitely something that you can take away from this video, is just go ahead and do it. Obviously, do some due diligence, make sure the numbers work as they need to, but don't sit on your bum for too long because opportunities will pass you by. Just go ahead and do it. That is lesson number one. So lesson number two is definitely work harder than everybody else. This is things that people say all the time, and by all means, I'm not saying work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I love a Netflix day just as much as the next man. But that said, don't let that get the better of you. When it comes to growing your business, it's definitely the early stages. When your business has got to sufficient scale and you've got staff that can do it for you, that's fine. But at the early stages, within the first 12 months, you need to be working harder than everybody else. This is what allowed me to scale the business in such a short period of time and get that massive amount of new clients due to that marketing activity in terms of what we were doing, because we were working harder than everybody else. 7 days a week really for the first year is definitely not uncommon. I was going to the office, the first office we had, probably getting there for 7 o'clock, going home most days at 10. Just doing things, writing marketing materials, speaking to new clients, doing prospecting calls, balancing all the different plates that you do as a business owner, spending the days doing that. And as a result, the business has been profitable, has grown really, really well. And as a result, I can now take a step back and go on holidays, not have to worry about working those long hours because I did it. I suffered at the get-go, at the start, and now we're in a good position. So lesson number three, think outside the circle. I'm saying this to try and be funny, really. Think outside the box is what most people say. Think outside the circle. To try and think things differently, do things better than everybody else. That's definitely something that I think we've done well at, when we're analysing competitors, doing a SWOT analysis of our market to see what competitors are doing well, what we're doing well, what opportunities there are, what threats there are. When we're reviewing the marketplace, one of the things that I think we have done pretty well is that we've done things differently. In terms of the typical accountant stereotype, very boring old grey suits, we've been able to rejig that up a bit. We've taken a completely fresh marketing approach. We've done things that no other accountants have done, massive YouTube channels, Facebook groups, free content. We've done things completely differently, and as a result, we've actually really had tremendous success from it. So a lot of people just stick to the normal route. It's typically run into an accounting business, you'll just go to networking events, try and win business. It's a slow slog. But when we're speaking to other accountants, it's like, wow, how have you managed to get that many clients in such a short period of time? It's because we've thought differently, come up with different ideas. So don't just go with the flow, because it's often the disruptors in the marketplace who do things differently and get the biggest rewards. So number 4, invest surplus cash. Don't just sit on big cash balances. End of the day, as Grant Cardone says, cash is trash until you use it. And to some extent, this is true. Obviously, keep some money aside for working capital. If there's one thing coronavirus has taught us, it's that you really cannot expect anything in this life. For all you know, a global pandemic virus could come along and shut your business down for 18 months. Anything like that is possible. So make sure you do keep a bit of cash aside for your operating expenses. For most people, I tend to keep around 3 or 6 months, depending on the business, set aside just so that if anything happens, you've got that to cover your fixed costs. Otherwise, don't just sit on big cash balances. Make sure you're putting them to growth. So there's 2 ways you can really do this easily. So you can invest in the business, invest in more fixed assets, invest in employees, invest in training and development. That's going to grow the business, grow the top line, and hopefully make the business more profitable at the same time. Otherwise, the second way, invest in real estate. So take the money out of your company and invest in real estate, whether that's property development, property refurbishment, or just normal buy-to-let. Get the cash out of your bank account where you're earning a fraction of a percent. Get that into a high yielding asset such as residential property that you can leverage, and as a result you have a much greater return and build further wealth, which is actually independent of your trading business and the risks that that brings. Number 5, surround yourself with great people. It's often said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and to some extent this is definitely true. Obviously have your friends and family, that kind of thing, but when it comes to business, you need people that are going to help you level up. You need people that are going to give you great ideas, hold you accountable, and basically if you say something stupid, they're going to help encourage you to think bigger. Definitely try and get mentors and other businesses that are in a similar space to you, or if not bigger. It's often said that you want a mentor who's just 1 step above you or a couple of levels above you, so that they can help you get to their level, and then you swap and you get a bigger mentor. Definitely this is true. Why make the mistakes when you can learn from people that have already been there, done that, and make the mistakes? So definitely surround yourself with great people, because people do love to help entrepreneurs, property investors. It's very helpful communities to be in. People are often happy to have a free lunch and run through any kind of business questions you've got, give you any other thoughts. So definitely make sure that you are hanging around with great people, because it's going to help you maximize your chance of business success. So the 6th principle really is look after your customer. This is something that we could have done better in the past, and I've certainly learned firsthand the ramifications of failing this, not putting this as a priority. So essentially when you're in early days, you're scaling rapidly, you're spinning many different plates, it's easy for some of those plates to fall off, and as a result the customer experience isn't quite what you'd like it to be. This is something that we've definitely picked up on now, and we invest heavily into the customer experience, making sure that they're getting the best possible customer service, their responses are being dealt with, and they're getting everything they agreed to and more, because that's what makes a good business. You should deliver exactly what the customer wants and a little bit more, because that way they feel like they're getting a massive value exchange. They're happy with the service. It's like when you go to a fish and chip shop. You pay a couple of good fish and chips, you get a normal sized portion, that's fine, you're happy with there. But when you get a good sized portion, you get that little bit extra and it's really tasty, then that's when you're happy and you're going to go back there. So that's what we need to aim for in business. It's just to slightly exceed the customer's expectations, because that's what's going to build long-term repeat in business. And definitely look after your customer, because if you don't, somebody else will. This is something we've learned about, and I definitely encourage everybody, no matter what business you're in, service, accommodation, accounting, solicitor, make sure you are prioritising your customer, because without them you'll be out of a job. Principle number 7, the last one of the series, and it's basically don't get comfortable. Of course, if you're running a lifestyle business and that's what you want to be comfortable, then by all means do get comfortable. But for the vast majority of ambitious and driven entrepreneurs, do not get comfortable with where you are, because when you get comfortable, it leads to complacency, and it's not just in one area of the business, it can often expand to other areas as well. So I know about this firsthand. We took a couple of months out of the business, and as a result, business growth staggered. Things weren't going exactly as they planned, and certainly the most important thing, which was aiming for, the growth that we were hoping for, did not happen, because I was comfortable, I was not in the business, and as a result, we lost out massively. So definitely do not get comfortable. If you are trying to grow a big business, you've got objectives to hit, you've got long-term goals, don't get comfortable with where you are. You need to keep pushing, being uncomfortable on a daily basis, disrupting the marketplace, and basically make sure that you're doing all you can and more to hit your goals, fulfill your dreams, and hit your business objectives. So I really hope you found today's video useful. It was more of a reflective video, essentially almost a vlog style, looking back at kind of the things that I've picked up on over the years, from books I've read, from business lessons, from experience, a culmination of everything. So my business career has been in excess of a decade now. I started very young in business. The most successful ones are quite new ventures, but certainly I'm qualified to talk about this kind of stuff in that I've been there, I've done that. So that's all for this week's video. Big thumbs up and let me know what you've learned from this video, if anything at all. If you found this video a waste of time, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about it. So please do, yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, see you Monday at 7 for next week's videos. Bye for now.